Hi, I'm Sarah LeRae. I'm a wedding photographer and a photography educator that loves teaching people the secrets that I've learned about wedding photography and the photography business over the years so that they can change their lives like I've changed mine. Now, I'm here today. I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite lenses. So right out the gate, I'm going to tell you it's my 50, my 85, and my 135. Now, I am a Sony shooter and I shoot on Sony A7 IIIs. But those are the 3 lenses that stay on my camera the most throughout the day, with the exception the first part of the day, I'm on a 24-70 or a 35 most of the day in the beginning, because I'm usually in tight cramped spaces and getting ready rooms. So it's just a lot harder to have those longer focal lengths in those tight areas. But definitely don't prefer a wider angle look just in my style. There are certain circumstances where I might want to make that creative choice or forced to make that choice for a wider angle look. But for most of the time, I'm on a 50, an 85, or a 135, like probably 90% of the day. So my 50 is a Sony 50 1.2. That's the lens that I'm on right now filming this video. And this lens is so sharp, so good. It really, with that 1.2, lets so much light in. And then with sort of wider angle shots, I'm able to really pop my subjects off the background, which is really what I love. I really love for the subject, the couple, to really just pop right off the page into your face. So that's what I really love about this lens. And it's super, super sharp. And shooting video as well, you get this really nice bokeh and it just really stays super sharp. I hope I look sharp, not too sharp. We don't want to get really like HD in here, but so I really love my 50. It's on a full frame camera, of course. That 50 is what the closest focal length to what your human eye actually sees. So it's really flattering on brides, on everybody. And so that's why I really love it. My 85 has historically been my favorite lens. That has been my favorite lens almost my whole career. Almost as soon as I bought it, it has been my favorite lens. I have an 85mm 1.8, the Sony version. And here's the thing about it. Sony came out with a 1.4 and everybody's like, oh my God, the 1.4. And it's great. I've rented it. I think it is a great, great lens, but I don't think it's worth the price difference. And I might be alone in that, but I'm not much of a pixel peeper myself. And so I just don't feel like that extra 1.4, the 0.4 there, I just don't feel like it is worth the difference in price. Maybe someday I might give in when I got a little extra cash or need to, like, you know, help with the taxable income situation. But yeah, for right now, my 1.8 it does fine by me. It gives beautiful bokeh, lots of beautiful compression. One of my faves, all-time faves, my old trusty. That's what I call her. My last favorite lens is my 135. This lens, I would probably categorize it as a specialty lens. This lens produces my favorite look, probably, of all of my lenses. The problem with this lens, though, and what makes it not the absolute favorite, is that it is really, really difficult. It's just not very practical. There's not a whole lot of situations where you can maintain that 135 focal length on the rush of a wedding day. So when do I break that lens out, or when does that lens really shine? That lens really, really shines in portraits that are not super wide, usually. Sometimes you can do full body, but because, again, the distance that you have to get everything in the shot with a 135, similar to a 7200, but I'll explain why I like the 135 better than a 7200. But that compression that 135 gives you, again, just that popping off of the background, this creates this really beautiful buttery bokeh. But when I really like to use this lens is when I have a ton of distance behind my subject. So if I have a drop-off view, if I have a beautiful, like, lots of distance, like lots of fields and a mountain, or just lots and lots of distance behind my subject that I can compress with that 135, that's when I really like that lens. And with it being 1.8, you just get this beautiful creamy bokeh, and the lens is super fast and super sharp. And then the other thing is when you have repeating patterns of some kind with lots of distance, so columns, any kind of like tunneled like effect, like if you've got some trees coming over your subject, anything that you can visualize repeating patterns, a longer focal length in general is going to produce a really cool effect, at least in my opinion. So yeah, those are my 3 favorite lenses. Now, why do I prefer 135 over 7200? Sounds like a 7200 would be a lot more versatile, being able to zoom. I don't like zoom lenses. I love my 24-70 for ceremonies. And the 7200 is great in a ceremony as well, but 7200s are so heavy. And you know, with Sony anyway, you can't get a 7200 lower than 2.4. So I just really like the 135 f1.8. That is just such a good balance to me. So that's why I prefer it. So my 50, my 85, my 135, those are my favorite lenses as a prime shooter. Now, if you're a zoom shooter, you're going to have a whole different list of favorite lenses. And if someday we can get the technology to have a zoom lens that has really low f-stops, that will be the day that my life changes for the better. But until then, there we are. Hope you like this video. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, give it a whatever. And I will see you guys in the comments. Let me know what's your favorite lens that you like to use when you shoot portraits. I'd love to hear it, talk about it, discuss it. See you next time, guys.